After Warzone had flourished for a year and the audience was ready for a new game, Vanguard came at just the right time with high expectations for the Sledgehammer developers. With an impressive Warzone event followed by a dramatic trailer, opinions did seem initially positive towards the World War II based shooter. However, within weeks of the launch, this positive aura seemed to have perished, as shotgun metas plagued the game and Dognados sucked our smiles away. But why did these small issues become so significant in the grand scheme of things? It would first of all be the unfortunate time of the release. So in November 2021, the game released. Now, in a month's time after the release, all of these developers would go on to their Christmas break and they go silent for 3 weeks. There'd be no social media posts, no updates, and they were all silent as they were on this break. It was at this point when the audience began to realise that Sledgehammer may have failed again, despite having some success towards the end of the World War II era back in 2017. Now, once the developers came back into office in January 2022, it was already too late. Twitch viewership, despite not being very high for Call of Duty multiplayers to begin with, I thought I'd note this, but even then it still significantly died down, almost to the level which it is at today. What happened between January and the present, however, is really what sealed the coffin on this Call of Duty title. In February, we'd see the release of Season 2 for Vanguard and Warzone. Multiplayer and Warzone fanatics were hoping that this would revive the kind of dying and plagued game, and they were hoping that it was going to refresh all the game. However, as soon as these patch notes dropped, it would disappoint. Vanguard was handed 2 new maps, filled with slow-paced camping spots and no memorability. One of these was Gondola, if you even know what this map is. To give them credit, however, Vanguard was also given a ranked play mode, which has been pretty popular and still is today. However, I know that it's still not going to be enough, and not everyone likes to play Vanguard ranked mode. They like to play the classic 6v6 multiplayer, so it was only a small thing, but I will be giving credit where credit is due. Now, despite this, it did seem glaringly obvious, even at this early stage in the game's development, that Activision was not really focusing on multiplayer, and it was briefly focusing, I should say, to Warzone in order to maximize profit for the company. Now, to back up this claim, we have videos from very notable creators such as Exclusive Ace. Just to prove this theory, he had titles about Vanguard such as "Still my biggest issue with Vanguard's gameplay," and "I hope these Vanguard features never return to," and "Have they given up on Vanguard?" representing the overall community's opinion, these generally negative titles. Now, when Season 3 was released in May, we would see a similar pattern. 2 new maps would be released, a few guns which were good in Warzone. However, nothing seems to be reviving this dead game, and the Twitch viewership hardly changed despite the update, as you can see on the graph here. It really did seem that even at this point, the devs had really given up, or they were just not really being pushed by Activision to focus on this multiplayer title. Even today in Season 4, as we're nearing Season 4 Reloaded, Season 4 for Vanguard has just been equally boring. There hasn't really been any posts, and it just hasn't been very exciting, and there's no reason for players to come back to the game. With Season 4 Reloaded being just around the corner, in fact it may already be out when this video is out, we're hoping that we can have some content for the game, but I believe it may already be too late. Activision seems to be telling us that they themselves have given up on this game and that they're really just looking forward to Modern Warfare 2. They can just improve and refresh their revenue stream. Players like me, this kind of decline in the game has been noticeable since January, because obviously I do all these camo grinds, but in this atomic grind it just felt so much longer and so much more painful than these previous grinds, despite only taking about 24 hours longer in total. But it just felt more painful and more campy than even the Modern Warfare 19 experience, which I quite enjoyed in the grand scheme of things. Now, for now, it does seem that Vanguard cannot be revived. It seems like it is too late, and with only one more season to go with Season 5, well, Activision's going to switch to Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. There is not much left for this poor game. Its lungs are breathing its final breaths, while it quietly perishes in its sad cycle.